We start with where I negotiate the contract prior to the start of the May 23rd, 2024 board meeting. The good news is, Mr. Bond was here and I was able to have a chat with him, so there was a lot of stuff I was going to talk about that I can skip past because of that conversation. However, you guys are going to vote on a contract tonight for him. And as we go through this process, we're always talking about how concerned we are with dollars our district does or does not have and how we always need money to spend on this hand. Well, on this hand, we're constantly throwing around hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, that could be probably better spent in other areas. So the discussion that I had with Austin Jones last year talked about how we can cap contracts to ensure when we have overruns and whatnot, we're a little bit better protected. And that's actually being done in this contract by simply stating the amount as a flat fee. And I know we're not talking huge dollars here, but at the dollar figure they're figuring their charges at, that would be $2.1 million for the 4 additional classrooms over there east. I suspect it'll come in a little bit less. He says no, I guess we'll see what it's bid upon. However, in order to protect us, I would actually change that language, and he said he may be amicable to that, to where it is a flat fee of $151,200 or 7% of the project cost, whichever is less. The original contract called for a flat fee of $151,200 based on an estimated project cost of $2.1 million. I had asked to change that fee structure to 7% of the project cost or $151,200, whichever was less. This would save the district money should the bids come in below $2.1 million and protect them by capping the fee should the bids come in higher.
You know, I am learning from my network, from my colleagues all the time, and if there's anything I'm about, it's about protecting the district and saving money.
If our goal is to save money, then we must negotiate at every opportunity.
The complications with, any news that comes at this level, that we find out maybe the night of the board meeting and isn't communicated timely, that's a challenge.
Had this contract been negotiated, we wouldn't be discussing it here tonight.
So, if there is anything that or that would protect the district or save us money, I might propose, and I don't want to get ahead of you, I know that Eric has communicated to me the timeliness of this. So, perhaps an approval of this, but if you bring anything, if we had a verbal on, hey, we think we might have an idea, I'm sure the board would entertain that if it protects the district and it saves us money.
The duty of those at Bond Architects is to make the best deal for their firm. It is the duty of those representing our district to get the best deal for our district.
However, our due diligence, we take virtually everything we touch through legal. So I wouldn't want the board to make any rash decisions tonight without that due diligence and making sure that we protect the district. So with that, I hope that all kind of makes sense. Perhaps, Mr. Jones, I would turn it to you or Mr. Bond.
The only change to this contract involves the cost. There is zero legal risk.
So just to build on what he said, I think the recommendation is to, if we decide to approve this contract, approve as is tonight, and then like Chris said, if there's any modifications to be made to it, we probably need to run it through our legal department or through our lawyers to make sure that there's no unintended side effects of bringing stuff to the last minute to the boardroom.
It seems as if the only unintended side effect of this change would be saving money.
So that would be my advice, is just, let's look at it as is, and then if there's savings to be made later, let's let the lawyers look at it and make sure that there's no unintended side effects to whatever's being proposed. Because the thing I hate about contracts is unintended side effects, and if you don't pay attention to them, they can get you. So that would be my.
I think Mr. Bond's got some commentary towards that, maybe.
Some apparently hate the unintended side effect of saving money.
Just 2 quick points. Dr. Berger, you had asked if there was any latitude in the percentage, and I think you and Eric had gone back and forth about that.
Yeah.
But you also had asked, could we cap it at that 7% and or work down from there should the project come in at a lower budget? And that's basically kind of how this earlier conversation was started.
What they discussed didn't make it into the contract? And that wasn't caught by anybody prior to presenting it to the board for approval?
And that is not written in here, but it needs to be, because I think that's the best way for the district to safeguard.
I think it's the best option too, and that's why I negotiated it.
In order to get the agreement going, I think we approve as is, and then we make the modification next month to everybody's satisfaction. That's my recommendation. Does anybody have something different they would like to propose? I'm hearing nothing.
If somebody is seriously concerned about lawsuits, perhaps signing a contract they don't agree to is a bad idea.
You know, you're making your decision on this contract with the hope and opportunity that maybe in June we get it revised. That protects the district or saves us money.
If the board approves the contract now, they can hope that maybe it will be revised. Eventually, a board member suggests that signing a contract they don't agree with is a bad idea. The contract is tabled for the next meeting, but it's not over. Last week, when I was here, by happenstance, so was Mr. Bond. And I had a quick conversation prior to the board meeting regarding an idea on how we could potentially insulate the district against some cost issues and save the district some money. We had discussed the expansion at East and a flat fee at the time that we had identified at $151,200, which based on the 7% that they usually charge came to a project cost of about $2.1 million. Now, he and I disagreed on where those bids may come in at. He thought that they would be closer to 2.1. I think they might be closer to 1.5, 1.6. We shall see. However, by capping that flat fee at that offered no protection to the district should those bids come in lower than expected. So based on the discussion that we had, I wasn't imagining a line in the contract that would say something along the lines of, the architect's fee for basic services will be the lesser of 7% of the cost of the work, or $151,200. Pretty straight, concise, to the point, simple, everybody can understand. Whomever went through this contract and rewrote it took even his simple one sentence and turned it into a paragraph. And the paragraph makes some changes that I find hard to believe were done by our attorney or somebody that's supposed to be representing us or having our best interest in mind. So the first thing that they changed is the architect's fee will be based off of an estimate of the cost of the work at the end of the design phase, no longer what the bids actually come in at, right? So when we're talking about should the bids come in lower, how do we save money? That line right there eliminates any possibility to do so, because that percentage is going to be based off of that amount. And the architect's compensation for basic services will be reduced to 7% of the cost of the work as defined there, but will not exceed 7% or $151,200. If we sign this contract as written, I can guarantee you our district will be writing a check for $151,200 regardless of what the bids come in at. We are not protected should a bid come in less than $2.1 million. The revised contract would have ensured no cost savings to the district. The district brought their attorney into the board meeting to address this. The language was changed to reflect my suggestions.
The next action item is the motion to approve. Is this updated?
Yeah.
Okay.
The paragraph there.
Okay.
So it did have a revision
Yes.
to the
Okay.
language, and you or Elizabeth may read that out.
Yeah, so I'll read a motion to approve the G802-2017 document as presented, except for the last paragraph being modified as follows. Additional fees for the 4-room addition at East Elementary will be in accordance with the agreement, except for the architect's fee will be based off the lowest bid received for the project. The lowest bid received will be used as the cost of the work as described in Article 11 of the agreement, but the architect's compensation will be reduced to 7% of the cost of the work, or $151,200, whichever is less. Is there a motion to approve the item?
I'll make that motion.
Second? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Any abstain?
Six opposed, sorry.
Yeah, 6-1.
Just for a point of clarification, Heidi, did you oppose or did you abstain?
I ended up opposing, thank you.
The revised contract was passed with a single member voting against it. A bid for this project was accepted in the amount of $1,770,000. The terms I negotiated resulted in approximately $27,000 in savings to our district.